how we're not all the same company. How not everything that's called escape room is owned by the same people.
What?
Yeah. I kind of liken it to, kind of dating myself here, but bowling alleys. Bowling alleys, if anybody remembers what a bowling alley is, they're not all owned by the same people. Different people own them, but they're still called bowling alley. Same thing with escape rooms. Different people own them, but they're still called escape rooms.
Yeah. The trouble is that there's not a lot of creativity in the type in like the company names.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot of heavy metal, and there's not a lot of creativity in heavy metal band names either. There's Mountain Witch, there's Witch Mountain, there's Goat Mountain, there's Goat Witch. They all just group on like the same 3 or 4 things.
Goat Witch kicks ass.
They do. But there's not a lot of creativity in the band names, just like there's not a lot of creativity in escape room company names sometimes, so it's easy to confuse them all and just kind of conflate them as being under one banner.
And that's why when we made the company, we specifically tried to keep
Trapdoor,
it
not
else.
escape room,
not,
Red Bank.
Not escape something, And
now there's another trapdoor, right, with like a hyphen or something?
Well, no, there's Trapdoor where it's just one word.
There's one in like Washington State, or was it Oregon?
No, that's like Eugene, London, I think, or
Oregon. Eugene, Oregon. Maybe.
And there's one in Canada too, right? The lady thought that we were... The lady who called...
I thought it was only the one in London.
I didn't think it was London. I thought it was Oregon.
I thought it was London. Someone look that up. Mike, people in the chat room, somebody look this up. Where's the other Trapdoor?
Either way,
I know it's just Trapdoor.
Not on the
It's
East
no
Coast
space.
of America.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were first. But we
But
do get calls for that quite often, yeah. And then my all-time favorite is Google, who calls us for our AdWords campaigns, and they're calling for them.
You would think Google would have it straight.
Well, I mean, it's just you just expect people to do their research, so be a little bit more thorough when you Google search, and also don't ask us what another company's policies are, because we don't know.
Right.
That's a big...
I got that call the other day. Someone was looking for a different escape room and told her that we were not them. And then she asked me if I knew what their prices and their policies were. And I said, "Ma'am, we're not affiliated with that other company. I have no idea. Call them."
Right. And I mean, we have our three locations, but we always get like, "Oh, can I get your fill in the blank town location's number?" Then it's like, that's not one of ours. That's not our location. Just because it's called escape room does not mean that we are all the same.
We're aware of the competition. We're not fully invested in them. And we don't know the ins and outs of their business operations. So don't ask us.
And we don't expect them to know the ins and outs of our business operations. So
don't ask them.
So don't ask them about us either.
Well, there's also a very big variance in what you're getting across all these different companies. I mean, you have companies that like Five Wits, where they're spending $500,000 or more on a game. Yeah. And then you have companies like The Mall, whatever name they have this month. Same company that changes their name on like a quarterly basis so that they could delete all their online Google reviews. Obviously, that's going to be a lower batch of quality.
Unlike bowling alleys. Bowling alleys are basically the same. Escape rooms, very different. Depending on which company it is.
Well, I think you get like a variance in the, the smell of your bowling shoes if you rent them. But
what spray they use, what Febreze they use.
I actually got kicked out of a bowling alley once.
Of course you did.
We were in college and we had a little bit to drink, and we decided to see how high we can stack the bowling balls.
One?
No, we got high. We really got high because if you place it on one of like the thumb hole, and then place the next one thumb hole on top, and then boom, and then boom, and then boom. We had it like 8 feet.
That's impressive.
But then they fell.
I'm surprised they let you get that far.
The guy was kind of watching us, but we had spent a lot of money in drinks already. So it was like, I guess let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah, but what did you think was going to happen?
And then,
that's the inevitable.
Oddly enough, that wasn't our cutoff. That was don't stack any more bowling balls. Cutoff was, could we get a strike on someone else's lane?
I'd like to point out that this man is now happily married with a child. So, see what happens?
can't wait till she's a teenager.
Liv, don't watch this. Please, it's a bowling alley. I could have been in much worse scenarios.
That's true.
But yeah, so there's very big varying degrees of companies and what they offer. As a viewer, as a player, we hope that you kind of take that for what it is and understand that not every single place is going to be the same. So if you have an absolutely horrendous time at one place, doesn't mean the next one's going to be the same. Try a different company.
Like Mike said, do your research, know which town you're going to, know which company you're looking for, and don't let one bad experience put you off escape rooms forever, because it's always different.
I kind of bowling alley is a good analogy, but I always kind of go back to like movies and theater. Because even from a company, they could have 3 horrible games in a row, and then they could suddenly decide, you know what, we're through with being a crappy company. We're gonna kill it with this next one, and everything could change. They could make a 5-star amazing experience.
Yeah, movie studios.
Like movie studios can, they can fire back and have a great movie, and then they could have a string of 4 horrible ones. I kind of feel like it's a similar element. It's not to say we've never had a misstep.
Right.
And I'm sure plenty of other companies have their one game that they wish they could take back and have never released. I don't know if I'd say that, but
I wouldn't say that about us.
But there's a little bit of love in everything. But that's kind of there's a difference.
Yeah.
We had a group that came to Cure Z over the weekend and literally walked in telling us the story about the game they played, the game they didn't play the night before, because they had played other escape rooms. They were vacationing in the Poconos and wanted to try and see what the area had to offer. And we have a competitor on Main Street in Stroudsburg, but their games, Frank and I have played this one game. Shout out to Clues in Stroudsburg. It was fun, but it's smaller, so you could only fit so many people in the room at a time. So this was a large group. They were like 12 people.
Oh, okay.
So they weren't fitting 12 people, and they wanted to play one game, not be dispersed into 3 or 4 games. I don't know how many Clues has even at this point. But there's a new one that opened up, and I'm not going to name names because you could Google that yourself. But they're claiming they are the largest escape room in Pennsylvania. This group was excited to see it. They went there. They walked in. They were questionable when they saw the lobby. And then they went into the game. They took 4 photos, and they left. They asked for a refund. They were not given one.
Oh, wow.
The owners of
They
didn't even play. The owners of the place replied to their review, standing by their place 100%, that these people, didn't know what they were talking about, and that they didn't even play the game, so how would they know the quality of the game? But I think they're trying to advertise almost like we're escape rooms of the olden days, 3 years ago. And, it's about the puzzles here, not about, anything else. But as Mike had pointed out, these photos, and I have not physically been in the space, but those photos looked like a snuff film.
It looked terrible. It looked like something anybody could throw together in their garage.
And not a snuff film by like choice of theme.
Snuff film by lack of budget.
I have a personal theory. If you're watching, feel free to comment and educate me. But I have a theory that in the midst of their construction, because it is such a big warehouse and they probably had a million code issues, not due to their own fault, probably due to just the shape the building was in when they moved in, because it's not in the greatest area, that they ran out of money before they made their game.
Maybe.
Similar to how when we were opening Morristown, the hallway ended up costing us like $40,000.
Looking at the pictures, it was kind of it reminded me of a comment that I had like either last week or the week before, where like escape rooms are almost like zombie movies now, where like everybody feels they can make one, and it doesn't really matter how good it is. It's cheap and easy, so you just make a zombie movie. And when I saw
that's the theory that a lot go into it with,
When I saw that picture, that's the first thing I thought of. They have this big space, and they're like, "Oh, we can do an escape room." And just because you can doesn't necessarily mean you should. But you did it, so good for you. But
I'm let down. You didn't have any Jeff Goldblum voice in there.
Yeah, Yeah. Insert Jurassic Park quote here. So I mean, like you successfully opened up a business. I don't know, the quality of your business or how successful it is.
It's $10 a ticket.
But I mean, that's either going to attract lots of people because it's cheap or it's not. Unfortunately, the quality of that room, just looking at it, I didn't feel safe. Yeah. And as with cooking food, when you go to a restaurant, it's all about presentation too. No one wants to get like
Very
a
good
plate
analogy.
of spaghetti with just pasta sauce and the noodles just thrown onto the dish.
Nobody wants pasta with a side of pasta.
Yeah, it's all about presentation. And if it's not presented properly, if it's not presented in an appealing way, people are going to turn off. So, I mean, that didn't look like...
Well, that's like the mall. It's... For a lot of people, as we're saying, they don't know escape rooms are all different companies. They think it's all one giant franchise. And then they go to the mall, and they play one of those, 5 by 5 foot rooms. It's a terrible experience.
Right, and they think they're all...
And they think everything's going to be like that, and then they don't want to try anything. And then they... their friends want to come let's just say, for example, they want to come play with us. And they're like, $35 to $50 a ticket. Are you insane for one room? And it's like, it's not.
It's not.
It's all about, it's also all about expectation too. Like if someone tells me that we're going to go play an escape room in a mall, unless it's like Palisades, I'm going to think it's probably something a little diminutive and small because most spaces in malls are like that. I wouldn't expect an escape room in a shopping mall to be this elaborate thing. So when you have a company who's like, we're the largest escape room in Pennsylvania, and I don't know how big they claim to be compared to our location in Pennsylvania, but if you're going to be establishing yourself as the largest escape room, you need to be able to back that up. Having like a 1,000 square foot room with a bed in it doesn't really mean you're biggest because you're not even taking advantage of the space that you have. So I mean, having the space and only implementing a quarter of it doesn't mean you're the biggest escape room. You just have more space right now.
No, we are the biggest escape room in Pennsylvania,
and we take full advantage of the space in our location in Pennsylvania. Yeah. We don't just put like 5 puzzles in this massive room and say like, we're the biggest. Yeah.
From what I understand, they are opening more games in that location if they're able to stay open to even do so. They're claiming, I guess, that the game that's open is open and done, and they're working on more while the place is under construction. People can go play the one that's there. But like I said, I feel like they're out of money and they're trying to generate revenue to finish.
Yeah, that's definitely possible, and maybe that even is why that one looks so slapped together.
And they were supposed to open months ago. From what I understand, they were supposed to open before we did.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, so we opened the week of Christmas out there, and we were delayed. We were trying to open in the fall for Halloween.
Yeah.
They were supposed to open before us, so last summer.
Wow.
As far as I believe. I remember seeing advertisements for it already back then. So, I think they ran into some massive hurdles, and that building is very big. So
they can take advantage of the size and do something interesting with it. I mean, all criticisms aside, you've managed to get open. Hopefully, you're successful enough to
make your next game stellar and be that analogy we used of movies before.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom line is for the viewers and for people looking to do an escape room, do your research and try to figure out what you're getting into because they're not all the same. And, sometimes you can just tell from the website how elaborate something's going to be and what something looks like.
Yeah.
So do your research and know that there are varying qualities.
I think we also have the benefit of actually having photos of our games on our website. So we actually post pictures of what our games actually look like.
Right.
So when you see pictures of the games on our website, that's what the game looks like. Yeah. So many other escape room companies are just like, here's a random picture we found off of Google Images.
Or graphic art, or
nothing indicative of the quality of their game. They just found like this elaborate photo, like bank heist, and it's like, here's a picture of this elaborate European bank. But the game is
the game is one teller station and an ATM.
So
All right, Frank, what's up next?
Well, next we have